Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsey. Today I'm excited to share with you my fourth alternative card using the November 2022 paper pumpkin kit called From the North Pole. This fun kit created 12 Christmas tags. If you'd like to watch me unbox this kit and create these tags or see any of my other alternative cards, you can click on the playlist and I'll link it in the top right corner. Each month I take the contents from the paper pumpkin kits and make alternative projects. Today I'm sharing with you this card that uses 2 tags as well as some die cut shapes from other Stampin' Up! Products that I have. Feel free to substitute with products that you have on hand. If you are new to my channel and want to see more of my videos, click on the subscribe button in the bottom right corner. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and help you with any of your paper crafting needs. To purchase any of the products you see me use today, or to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, please visit my online store and all the links are below in the description. This card is pretty easy to put together, and so we're going to just go ahead and start with our tags from the kit. So this one uses the white tag as well as the red and white stripe tag. And we're going to remove the holes from the top of each of these tags. And I like to do that by using the top of my paper trimmer and then sliding the tag until the cut line just barely disappears. And so that sits just a little bit larger than a 1/2 inch. And then trim that off. And then I'm going to repeat that with my red tag. And that sits at about 2 3/4 here on the left side. And then these 2 pieces are just trash. So this ends up being about 2 3/4 inches. And this one is, the bottom of the tag sits at about 3 7/8 of an inch or so. So one of the fun things that this card has is a little bit of glimmer from the Wink of Stella brush. And I'm just going to add some of that to the center of my tag here. I did squeeze to get a lot out. And then I need to let that dry before I can stamp on it. So I'm just going to place that off to the side. And then I did also splatter some Wink of Stella on my card base. So I've got a card base here of mint macaron, and I'm just going to squeeze to try to get some of that ink out, and then just kind of splatter some dots here. This does dry clear, and you just get a little bit of shimmer on your cardstock. So let those 2 things dry before we move on to that part of the card. So while we let those things dry, I'm just going to talk about the other pieces that I've used on the card. So I did want to include some pine trees, Christmas trees to my card. And so I pulled out this die set that I have from Stampin' Up. It is called Spruced Up, and it does coordinate with a stamp set. I think the stamp set's called All Spruced Up stamp set. And so you can get those in a bundle. It comes with so many fun shapes. I definitely recommend getting this stamp set. And the fun thing about it is it cuts out this really tiny border as well as the inside. So you can see here that this has been cut with the shaded spruce cardstock, and you've got the border and then the inside. And the same with that small one. And this one I cut from mint macaron cardstock. And it does that with these other large shapes as well. There's like an ornament, kind of a snowflake, present, larger ornament, another snowflake, and then stars, small ornament. So it's just a really fun one to have on hand. All right, so there's just a little bit of stamping. I decided to stamp Merry Christmas in early espresso ink. And I wanted it to be flagged on this side, so I'm going to use my Banners Pick-a-Punch. And this is a 1-inch strip. So I'm going to go ahead and slide that all the way in. And then punch that, and it just creates this perfect flag on one side. Then I'm going to take my Early Espresso ink and my Merry Christmas stamp and stamp it close to that flag And then I'm going to trim off the left edge. And I'm going to do that with my paper trimmer so that I know that everything's nice and straight. Just kind of line it up where you want to cut along that cut line. So we'll end up with something like this. So now that these two pieces are dry, I'm going to pull in the stamp set from last month. This is from the October paper pumpkin kit called Ho Ho Ho, and it coordinates really nicely with the kit from November, the one that we're working with today. And I wanted this little star stamp, and I'm going to stamp it onto my white tag in Bermuda Bay. And I'm going to do a technique called generation stamping, where you stamp twice without re-inking. So you get the first generation, which is darker, and then the second generation, which is lighter. So just kind of randomly stamp it on your tag. Make sure that it's dry before you do that. And then on the card base, I want to add just a little more splattering, and I'm going to use my shaded spruce Stampin' Right marker, and I'm going to use the brush tip, and you place it inside the cap and flick out, and it will add a nice fine mist splatter to your card. And I'm focused the splattering on the top left and bottom right corners. All right, so now we can start kind of putting together this little focal point we've got for our card. I've got the tag topper here. This comes in the kit, and I'm just going to remove the circle and use just a straight edge for the top of my tag here. So use your paper snips and carefully cut just that circle off. Add a little adhesive to the back. And then layer that over the top of the tag. You want it to match up with this top and the sides. Then I'm going to take about 18 inches of twine, and I want to wrap it around the top of my tag twice so that I put the middle point where I want my bow to be, and then wrap it around both ways so I get a double wrap, and then I'm going to tie a knot and then a bow. So you'll get something like this. Then we'll take the red and white striped tag. We're going to add some dimensionals to this tag. I'm just going to put them in the center, about 4 of them, to hold the white tag in place. And we're going to center the white tag on this piece. So I'm going to use my grid paper, and this darker line is going to be the center point. And right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a half. So that's the center. And then you just take your tag, and this is the center point of that tag. And just add it to the red and white striped piece. So something like that. There's really no right or wrong on where it lays vertically. You just want there to be an even amount of space on the left and right. Then we can add this to our card. Before I do that, I want to kind of identify where I want to put these outlined trees. So I want the shaded spruce tree to be up in the top right corner. And then the mint macaron one actually gets tucked in under here. So we see a little bit of it on the red and white. So let's add this one first. Just a little bit of liquid glue. If you have adhesive sheets, you can use those to cut this out. That would make this really easy. And just place that in the top left corner. And then we can add this piece. I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal Plus and place that in the center. And then let's get some glue on the mint macaron piece. This is all about layering. And so you could use any types of shapes here. You could even use you could stamp some Christmas trees in the background. You could cut out some more of the solid shapes if you have that. You know, if you have like maybe a punch or something that has a shape that's similar to this one. So you're going to end up with something that looks like this for your background. And then we'll add our Christmas trees. The first Christmas tree is just added with regular adhesive. Make sure to see a little bit of that red on the bottom. And then our second Christmas tree has dimensionals. And then our Merry Christmas has a dimensional as well, right there to hold it in place. Make sure that you can see the stars, if you've got any, on the top or bottom. And it should maybe come off away from the red as well, so it's not lined up there. And your card is all done. Such a fun card using up some of those last of the tags from the kit, as well as some of the stamps from last month's kit, some extra pieces from maybe your stash. It's just a really fun card to put together. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me create this fun card today using the November 2022 Paper Pumpkin Kit. If you are interested in getting Paper Pumpkin, you can use the link in the description box below to subscribe. If you'd like to see written instructions or close-up images on how I created this card, you can visit my blog, creativechelsey.com. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.